Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that dominates in today's edition for Thursday, 29th May 2025, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillean Group. St. Lucia welcomes its first female Kings Counsel Petra Nelson. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. May 23rd, St. Lucia marked a historic achievement as Edith Petra Nelson was officially welcomed to the Inner Bar as the nation's first female King's Counsel. More in this NBC Television St. Lucia report with Cecile Actil.
An induction ceremony celebrated a historic milestone for St. Lucia as the first female attorney was appointed as His Majesty King's Counsel.
I, Edith Petra Jeffrey Nelson, do declare that well and truly I will serve the King as one of his counsel, learned in the law, and truly counsel the King in his matters when I shall be called.
They came to honor not only her intellect, but also the heart and history that propelled Edith Petra Nelson. Nelson achieved the prestigious credential on Friday, May 23rd. The Bar Association and distinguished colleagues gathered at Parliament to welcome her to the Inner Bar.
The first woman in St. Lucia to ever achieve this distinction. It is my profound privilege to present Petra, a brilliant legal mind, a tenacious advocate, and a woman whose journey to this pinnacle is as inspiring as her achievements.
Nelson's colleagues describe her as more than just a lawyer. She is a trailblazer for women in law, trusted with their most pivotal battles, and a vital contributor to shaping St. Lucia's legal landscape. Her friend and colleague attended their ceremony.
It is not debatable that Mrs. Nelson most certainly possesses the requisite qualifications to receive this accolade. But it's also fitting, I think, to look beyond legal acumen. A King's Counsel, I submit, must possess something more intangible. That is a sense of public duty. Mrs. Nelson has served her community in many diverse ways, providing many years of service.
St. Lucia Bar Association President congratulated Nelson on her esteemed title.
She is a ferocious advocate, and every time I come up against Petra Nelson, I pause to take a deep breath, to prepare myself psychologically for the rough and the tumble which is about to come. I told Petra that I would come up here and say that Petra is the most gentle, quiet, angelic practitioner you could possibly hope to come across. For fear that the good Lord would strike me, I decided it were better to be real about it. So I am keeping it, as the young people would say, like myself, I'm keeping it completely 100 this morning. We are very proud of the fact that finally finally the gods have found it fitting to bestow upon the worthy female practitioners at the bar of St. Lucia the title of King's Counsel.
Beyond her legal prowess, Petra's brilliance extends to her impact on land registration reforms, skillfully resolving disputes with precise statutory navigation and safeguarding systemic integrity. Her belief is that justice should serve humanity, not just legal precedents. She is described as a scholar of law and a champion of the people, with resilience as a core strength.
Tragedy struck early when Petra lost her mother, but her family, her brother Lyndon, her grandmother, and her father became her pillars. Lyndon's steadfast support and her grandmother's wisdom instilled in her the grit that defines her today. Her grandmother, with help from her father, ensured that she had the means to pursue law. Their sacrifices live on in her triumphs today.
Beyond the courtroom, she's a pillar of civic leadership and community empowerment. As a founding member and interim president of Raise Your Voice in Lucia, she has been instrumental in advocating for women's and children's rights, organizing marches, demonstrations, and educational campaigns that have galvanized national support for gender equality. Her efforts in securing funding for training and economic sustainability projects continue to empower countless women, reflecting her unwavering dedication to societal progress. Cecil Actil, NBC Prime.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick, in association with our friends at
Antillean Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The public has been warned about sharing information from the Public Sex Offenders website. Assistant Superintendent of Police attached to the Criminal Records Office in Trinidad and Tobago, Tula Julian, explained that reproducing any information from the Public Sex Offenders website, whether formally or informally, is a criminal offense. TTT News has more.
The public has been warned about sharing information from the Public Sex Offenders website. Assistant Superintendent of Police attached to the Criminal Records Office, Tula Julian, explained that reproducing any information from the Public Sex Offender website, whether formally or informally, is a criminal offense.
Any person who intentionally and without lawful cause or justification or excuse reproduces, shares, or uses any information contained on the website commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $25,000 and to imprisonment for 3 years.
Currently, there are 36 registered sex offenders on the Public Sex Offenders website, while 861 are registered on the National Sex Offenders website. TTPS Legal Officer Inspector Zahir Ali said if it is found that persons do not adhere to the law, they open themselves to serious legal ramifications, including an investigation and prosecution. He outlined how this can be reported to the police.
We are asking you to report that matter immediately to the designated officers, and the designated officers are officers who are of the rank of sergeant or above in the respective station, in the respective divisions, and they will conduct the necessary inquiries to determine whether in fact there's any criminal conduct that is unfolding with reference to the information they receive.
In the meantime, the Acting Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, has revealed that there is a reduction in serious and violent crimes across all jurisdictions in Trinidad and Tobago. Ayana Carter of TTT News has more.
There's a positive change in the climate in Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to crime, according to Acting Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin. The commissioner said, according to the statistics, there has been an overall 33% reduction in murders. Comparing the numbers by year, in 2023, 241 murders were recorded. In 2024, there were 228, while in 2025, 153 were recorded. For the month of May, In 2024, 52 murders were recorded, while for the same time this year, there were 23 recorded.
When we look at our violent crimes, we have, for 2024, at least 1,991 in 2024 in terms of violent crimes. Now in 2025, we have only 1,424, which is a 28% reduction.
There have also been reductions in other serious crimes, such as woundings and shootings, sexual offences and robberies. The TTPS also reported an increase in the seizure of firearms and the recovery of motor vehicles.
In the Port of Spain area, we have seen a reduction of over 68% in terms of our murders. In the North Central Division, we have at least a 69% reduction. And in Tobago, we have at least a 70% reduction. And therefore, while we've seen in every single division a reduction in murders,
he said there was a slight increase in the Southwestern Division, while stats were maintained in the Northern North Division.
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is about saving lives, and therefore all that we are doing is to ensure the more firearms we have off the streets is the more lives we're saving. And thus far we believe that we are really seeking to make that change.
The police commissioner said despite these positive statistics, the work continues for the TTPS. He assured they will continue to fight crime and criminal elements. Ayana Carter, TTT News.
Barbados' Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley was the first to welcome Minister of Educational Transformation Chad Blackman to Tuesday's sitting of the lower house. Ms. Motley notes that Minister Blackman secured 84% of the vote in the recently concluded St. James North by-election.
Even though there are concerns about the extent of the turnout, we have shown clearly that of the 8,534 members, roughly 2,068 persons were either overseas, deceased, or had moved. And to that extent, reflects admirably. When we have looked at the performance across the board in that constituency and others, the votes garnered even with a lesser turnout approximate to that which is garnered with a normal turnout. I look forward to the contributions in terms of his participation in debates and the moving of resolutions, but equally to the overall contribution that the honourable member will make to the children of this country, to the future of education, and by extension, knowing how much education means to us as a nation. Because without that, our people will not be able to achieve the most that they can achieve. That we look forward to his leading the most comprehensive educational transformation that this country.
Over now to Jamaica, where the headline is Driven by Crime, Cop Suspected in Car Theft, 19-year-old robbed at gunpoint. TVJ's Ramado Lyons fills us in.
A late-night gunpoint robbery sent a 19-year-old running to the police on Saturday. The 19-year-old man, an in-drive taxi operator, was driving along Coleville Avenue in Kingston when an armed individual entered his vehicle and forcibly took control while it was in motion. With quick thinking, he managed to escape unharmed and alerted the authorities. The story took a dramatic turn when the vehicle was tracked to a location in St. Catherine. The officers were stunned when they discovered that the person inside the vehicle was one of their own. Head of the St. Catherine South Division, Acting Senior Superintendent Leighton Gray, spoke with her news center.
There was a lone person in the vehicle. We stopped the vehicle, intercept, and make the necessary checks. When we revealed that it is a serving member of the force, was a lone person, we took that person in custody along with the vehicle, and thereafter we informed police emergency as to the intercept, and then thereafter the Grenada police area in which it occurred, they were notified.
Mr. Gray said the vehicle was intercepted along Dyke Road in the vicinity of the Jamworld complex in Portmore. In a release, the Constabulary's Communication Unit says the suspect is a detective corporal. When he was searched, they found a Glock 17 9mm pistol, 2 magazines, and 13 rounds of ammunition, all issued by the JCF. He also had his police identification. The Criminal Investigations Branch is leading the investigation. Meanwhile, the Police High Command says it strongly condemns any form of criminal conduct, particularly when perpetrated by those sworn to uphold the law. It adds that it will neither tolerate nor conceal wrongdoing in any quarters of the force, and any member who entertains criminal inclinations will be thoroughly investigated and prosecuted. Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.